It's Daybreak on Arise News, and it's time for the press review, a first look at what's on the front pages from around the world. But beginning with our sister publication as usual this day, leading with Electoral Bill, governors meet, challenge House to concur with Senate. Right as to that story, commend Senate for okay indirect consensus mode of primaries to engage the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress over proposed increase in fuel price. Hold secret parley with anti-graft agency EFCC boss over security votes. And another headline there, APC, we are yet to zone party positions ahead of convention. Above the nameplate, INEC disputes Tinubu's claim, says previously issued PVCs not expired, valid for voting. And one more, Upstream Commission rakes in 175 billion naira from sale of marginal fields. 31 oil assets fully paid for as litigation stall 2 targets 3.38 trillion naira in revenues in 2022. Laments 115,000 barrels per day lost to oil theft, technical deficiencies.
Let's jump into the Tribune, Nigerian Tribune. Electoral Bill, Senate, House bow to President Buhari. Widen scope of primaries, approve direct, indirect consensus options. There's more. Petrol pump price not increased to 302 naira per litre. And that's information from the presidency. Fenifere laments incessant kidnappings on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And there's more. Court orders the federal government to pay Nnamdi Kanu 1 billion naira and tender an apology over rights violation. The APC releases schedule for February convention. And finally, fuel subsidy removal and will clarify from relevant government agencies. That's according to Lai Mohammed, the Information Minister.
Well, the Punch is also laden with that stories. Electoral Act amendments and it bows to Buhari includes consensus for party primaries. Senate add consensus to House of Reps direct, indirect primaries proposal. Consensus will subvert popular will, antithetical to democratic principles, says civil society organizations.
Moving on now to the Guardian newspaper. Electoral Bill, civil society organizations knock the Senate over consensus option as the National Assembly re-amends the bill. The Senate and Reps bow to President Buhari's request. And consensus option undemocratic. That's what Sislak's saying. Court awards 1 billion naira to Nnamdi Kanu, orders the federal government to tender an apology. PVCs don't expire. The Independent National Electoral Commission is clarifying its in reaction to comments made by the APC chieftain Bola Tinubu, who said earlier that PVCs had expired. Now the US vows to bolster democracy in Nigeria.
Well, the Nation is reporting that governors are tightening their grip on APC ahead of the convention. State helmsmen to shortlist 2 aspirants for chair, zoning battle rages, convention guidelines out. Some other headlines on the front page there. EFCC quizzes AMCON MD over sold assets. Kanu's trial continues February 16th. And of course, the recurrent story this morning, Tinubu clarifies position on PVC.
And let's take a quick look at the international papers now. I've got the Independent, in the name of God, go. Prime Minister Boris Johnson faces angry comments as Tory defects to Labour. Face masks and isolation, Axton and to Plan B.
There's the same headline for The Guardian, quoting the former Cabinet Minister David telling Mr. Johnson, in the name of God, go.
For times now, Prime Minister Boris Johnson fights on as plotters pull back from the brink. Isolation rules for infected set to end.
And the Financial Times suggests Mr. Wakeford's crossing the floor has actually had the effect of rallying Conservative MPs to the MP side.
The Daily Express, in the name of the party unity, in the name of party unity, go, and back PM.
Let's bring in Emmanuel Bello for the press review this morning. Emmanuel, great to see you as always. And of course, the front pages are busy this morning. A lot of political talks, and as well as the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. This day leading with that Electoral Bill, governors meet, challenge House to concur with the Senate. As you know, we have two separate versions from the Senate and the House of Reps. And so they need to set up harmonization committee to ensure we have just one version going to the president. Some would say this is perhaps delay tactics. What exactly is happening here, Emmanuel?
Good morning, Adesuwa. Well, there's no delay. What happened is actually a surrender yesterday by the Senate. Some papers were very clear about that, and they were not charitable to the senators at all. They say, look, or the National Assembly, that the National Assembly has capitulated, has bowed to the president, has bowed to Buhari. President Buhari actually saying he doesn't want the direct thing imposed on direct primaries imposed on parties. So he won. If you're looking at, if you're asking yourself who's won in that whole standoff that we saw last year between the governors on one side and the National Assembly members on the other side, the governors won, and yesterday they were so excited, and happy. But the people were not happy. Were the rest of people around who the country were like worried about that particular clause. I mean, it almost rendered the document undemocratic, especially now again that a consensus tool is being added to the issue. So you see CSOs and other pro-democracy body saying that, look, this document is not making for better elections, and now we just have to roll with it, just because the president and the governors on one side wanted it to be like this. So there's no delay. They're going to? The president has already suggested he was going to, sign this as soon as these amendments are made. The problem now is that a whole lot of people are not happy that parties was such a revolutionary idea, the idea of having direct primaries, where parties will be forced. Parties will be can actually allow people to vote in the candidates of their choice directly, and not through what you call the delegate system. A lot of Nigerians were really looking forward to that. The Democrats all over the world thought that was very revolutionary, but the president clearly not comfortable with it, and then he got advice from his AGF. And what you saw yesterday was a capitulation, a surrender, so to speak, and a victory, triumphant victory by the governors, who clearly are happy with this development, and also urging the House of Reps to concur with the Senate, and really happy with the National Assembly for what is done. So we are left with this document, but some people will say it's better you have this or nothing, and then because we have an election coming and you need the electoral law passed anyway. So it's either you have it or you have some of it, and some of the gains, like the direct capturing of results, and now what they are also some of the amendments. So but there are many people who are not really happy with the document that we are having now. It's a far cry from the first revolutionary document we had.
Interesting, Emmanuel. Still in this day newspaper, the electoral body INEC is disputing Bola Tinubu, that's the ABC chieftain's claim about the permanent voters cards being expired. They say every PVC which's been registered is still valid. One wonders, what was he thinking while he made those comments?
Yeah, it's difficult to know what he was thinking, but he's going into this huge contest himself. That will mean a lot. Tinubu is already making campaign promises all over, talking about what he can do as the president if he becomes the president. He's really serious about this contest. He says it's been his lifelong ambition. This is all that he's always wanted to be, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So you will not blame him so much if he's very interested in what's happening at INEC and what's happening with the PVC and all of that. But the INEC coming strongly has corrected whatever impression he was trying, and I think he has walked back his views on that. So it's the kind of back and forth that you have between the actors, those who are going to the field, and then those who are going to referee what is happening on the field. You have those kind of back and forth from time to time between politicians and INEC, and I think INEC has done a good good job there by quickly, giving that retort and saying, no, this is the true, these are the facts on ground, and not just what an aspirant thought about the subject of PVCs.
And the Nation reporting that governors in the APC are tightening their grip ahead of the convention. We still do not have a venue, but yesterday they released the guidelines leading to the convention itself. Emmanuel, what are the governors up to?
Governors are up to, total control, whether it's in the PDP or in the APC. It's a governor's affair, it's a governor's party. The governors are having a grip, and maybe so because they do a lot of the funding of this political platform. In the APC, it's clearly a governor's affair. The caretaker chairman is a governor himself, the governor of Yobe State. And, yes, they've not agreed clearly on even the mode. But guidelines are out. Some people fear that maybe they will just go for a consensus candidate. But whatever it is, the 26th February convention is going to be very revolutionary. It's going to be very extraordinary. I think our eyes ought to be on that. But building up to that, of course, we are going to see a whole lot of back and forth. And the party itself is denied that it's not done any position yet. APC seems to be giving the impression that it likes to work in secrecy in most cases, probably also because it is the ruling party, is the party to beat. So they keep most of their game, close to the chest, and you don't see much of information around issue. For instance, right now, nobody knows where what office is zoned to around the country. Not even the national leadership that is, practically maybe zoned to the north, but not too sure where it is. And all the other offices, no one knows where the National Public Secretary, for instance, is going. No one knows where all the other positions are going. Why are they keeping this at this late in the day? But you never can know what the party is thinking. So those are some of the things, but all eyes are on this party to see how it gets its act together. The PDP already firmed up on that ground, and I think the APC is so aware of the almost flawless kind of convention the PDP had, and the unity of purpose that the PDP is showing, especially in its leadership. APC too wants to put up that kind of show, February 26th. They got the date. Funny enough, like you said, this was no venue yet, but they've tightened security around the secretariat of the APC here in Abuja, their headquarters. So we're watching all eyes on APC. There's going to be a lot of dramas. The contestants are still out there, billboards all over Abuja, big city, big billboards all over the city. People saying that we can control this party, we can be the champ. So, but we're watching to see all that is going to happen in the next few days.
Very well. We're looking forward to the best men and women stepping up and taking the reins in that party. In the Independent paper, Emmanuel, face masks in isolation axed in end to Plan B. Now, the US CDC is recommending N95s and KN95 masks, but the UK is saying face masks in isolation will go. Are we finally saying bye-bye to Omicron?
Not really, but I think this is the PM, Boris Johnson's way of dropping those red meat, like they say, trying to frame up his base. Maybe it's a fight back mechanism, Not many people are fans of the face mask, and now he's saying that from next week, all that is gone and people can walk outside their home. They are free now to walk in their offices. Popular policies, you may say. Some people will look at it politically and say, well, this is a PM that is faced with, with his base actually telling him to go. Most of the British tabloid talking about that, saying his base is actually rallying around asking him to go, and maybe this is another way of him buying back time, buying some time and buying back some grounds. But I think a lot of people might like the idea that they should stay without face masks, even with health officials still screaming that they are not quite out of the woods yet. But this PM pushing to say that, look, we can actually get our lives back and live normal lives without the face mask. So how this is going to, how the facts and the science around the issue of this virus is going to affect this policy is something that we need to wait and see. But for now, seems revolutionary that Britain is saying that, look, we're out of the woods and we can do without face mask. That's something that I think is extraordinary and that we need to keep our eyes on.
Indeed, and the British Medical Association as well as the NHS have responded quickly saying it's a wrong move. But thank you so much, Emmanuel Bello, for the review this morning. Much appreciated.